in the bot lane, and now it's disaster for them. We thought perhaps it would be a more aggressive rogue, but we didn't want it to go this way. A double.
Kill the way, kill the way. Nice, kill the wall. Kill the way. Nice.
So Elise and Larson left alone down towards this bottom side as Razork dives in. Comp dashing around the path, make it all out, and Comp falls towards going in. Larson fears him away, but it's not going to be enough to do anything more in this fight. Infernal Soul secured for Fnatic.
Fnatic starts off their spring split right with a win on the board, and Razork here to join myself and Eragon to talk about it. As we take a look at the draft, I would like to know from you, Razork, how do you like the pre-done pick and ban draft?
Yeah, I don't like it too much, honestly. I feel like the time that you get like 15 to 20 minutes, depends how long the game before takes to end, to think about what's happening on the game. Like, you see all 10 champs, and for example, in this game, we knew, and we were discussing, Oscar and me, how we were going to play level 1.
Yeah.
Like, we knew Udyr was going to come, and that they could dive bot level 3, so we were like, considering all the situations, and usually you don't get this time to talk about it, even with your coaches. So I personally don't like it too much.
You think it's less skill expression, actually? Or like, it's a mechanic that is difficult usually, that is now made easier for some teams?
I think it's like better if you just like adapt to the situation as soon as possible, and you don't get like 20 minutes to discuss every possible situation, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a skill to be able to do that all in a minute's time before your coaches, have time to look up every single matchup online, and be able to do all of this. So yeah, I definitely agree. It takes a bit of a skill expression away.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not something that like it's an advantage for any team, because both teams get the same amount of time. But personally, I'm not a big fan of it. I rather have the last champ locked in, and then you just like talk about, oh, we are doing this in early game, they can do this, and then you have to like be fast and quick on it. But
you say it's for every team, but some teams are probably better at it than others. If you have more experience and stuff, and if you have practiced, I don't know, a certain champion or against one, you'll be able to make those plans faster. So it's definitely interesting. I want to take a look at a couple of replays, though. Eragon, talk me through the bot dive. Is this where the game went completely wrong for Rogue?
I do think this is where the game went kaboom, and I think it went kaboom a bit earlier than I expected. I looked at your draft, and I thought you had not that many tools early, but then by third dragon, maybe you scaled up, and then you can contest their third dragon fight. But you guys were just killing in lane 1v1 with the Zeri killing the Kalista somehow, making plays in mid at 6. Do you think your team comp came online earlier than it should have?
For sure. I mean, we were planning to like give first Drake. I think first Void Crabs are not ours, right? And but we knew that when we get to the third Drake, and when Zeri and Taliyah gets like these 2-3 items, we're gonna be stronger. But for sure, I think like Noah played fantastic. I think he's in a really good shape right now. And yeah, I feel like enemies were not punishing us too much in early game. They were not really doing anything. And in the bot dive, I mean, we knew the dive was coming. We were all there to cover. But I think Noah just reacted to Nautilus hook, and then it's just unplayable for them.
Yeah. Do you feel like you didn't get as much out of the team at the end of last split than you should have, based on kind of how good you were doing and where you were heading as Fnatic?
A little bit, but I think last split we were playing good, but we were not playing good as a team, right? I feel that our macro started to drop a little bit, and our medium was still fine, but I feel like right now Humanoid is like really motivated, and he's really like helping and shot calling and teaching us. So far, I feel like we are coming in really strong, and I think we will show in the next games.
I have to say, though, this was another really good performance by you, right? How does it feel to not be all-pro? I feel like this is a question I would like to ask.
You can't!
No?
No! You can't ask it yet.
Okay, not yet.
That's what.
Wait, never mind.
You have to now.
It's coming. So, we want to play a little game with you.
Oh, okay.
You know how psychologists do, which is where we are going to show you an image, and you have to give us kind of your first visceral reaction to that image. Okay?
No. Okay.
Are you willing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will try my best, though.
Right. Let's see the first image.
Where do we see it?
I think it's behind us.
OP.
OP. Yeah? Do you like hate it as much as most people do, or?
I think it's a bit overtuned, this champion, not gonna lie. I feel like, of course, it has the counterplay that in early game is like very weak, but when you get to this 225 stacks, this champion is just a creature. Like, unbelievably broken.
What are your thoughts on, like, you get Smolder, the enemy picks bot support, and then you get counter pick support, secure the scaling, and you just auto win, no? I feel like that's...
yeah, I mean, if
there's no
enemy team
counterplay.
doesn't win the game through mid 3v3, then it's kind of over, yeah.
Okay, next image.
Beautiful human being.
Aww.
That's beautiful indeed. Mad Lions will play for the for the end of the day, of course. Our next image. We're gonna ramp up, you know.
Okay.
Let's see.
Oh no,
What is
sad
this?
depression.
Depression? What is this?
Yeah, this is
But
depression.
how come the Rogue side also looks sad? What?
Because I think this game was really hard for them,
Yeah.
but we kind of managed to throw it.
Yeah.
And then actually we lost the world spot in this game.
Yes,
Oh my
I'm
God.
sorry.
Yeah, sad.
This is motivation. And our last one is also for motivation. And now, Eragon, you can come in.
How does this make you feel?
I really don't mind. I think they deserve it, not gonna lie.
Stoic.
Yeah.
Not too much. I think you've been playing so well, right? I think after another performance, you were my all-pro jungler, and I think a lot of people, there's been a lot of discourse online, have been incredibly surprised. Do you think you'll get at this split if you keep up the performance?
I mean, personally, I couldn't care less about this. Like,
Okay.
I just want to play good myself. I want to make sure that my team values what I'm doing, and I play good as a team. I really don't care if I'm in this.
You
like,
actually,
personally. Or I get MVPs after games. I really don't care.
you like got through the test with flying colors because usually this is like meant to tilt you a little bit, but you were very just like,
I don't care
it's
really.
The way it is, you really don't care.
I'm just honest. If I would care, I would say it. Oh no, I should be there. I really don't care.
Yeah, but I guess objectively, Eragon, do you think that people kind of mind off voted Yike because all of G2 is doing well when there is someone like Razork, when there is someone like Elyoya?
Yeah, I think it's always a hard discussion because I feel like Elyoya had his merits where he had to play with multiple rookies and baby them through lane sometimes. You know, Yike has really good laners, so it's hard to judge jungle. Do you agree with this? I think sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I always said that it's really hard to say who's better in the top 5 junglers in LEC, or like the jungle role is very stacked in the top 5 in my opinion, and I think Yike is a really good player. I think Elyoya has shown that with 4 rookies he can go to finals. It's also like a lot of things that maybe you don't see, and if someone is like focusing only about KDA or like, oh, I've been playing better with my team, it's so hard to say.
So
Honestly.
you called out. So you're saying that everyone who voted only looked at the KDA. That's what you're saying.
No, but it's like you have to go in depth into many things to actually know what's going on and what are they offering to the team, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe Ilyoya is playing like only Sejuani and Rel, and he's like dying for the team, but he's like calling everything to his team, what the map moves are. And in my opinion, that's way more valuable than just like pick a carry jungler, take all the camps, and then yeah, guys, I will just deal damage and kill everyone, you know?
Yeah,
in my opinion, I think that's harder, but yeah, that's me.
I think that's a pretty acceptable opinion to have. We should have been in draft already, but we did have a little delay, but we're going to get into it in just a second. League officials are investigating reports from players relating to issues with settings on stage, but that was from the past. Allegedly, we're getting into draft in 30 seconds. Eragon, G2 versus BDS, what do you think?
I think it's going to be really interesting. I mean, last time we saw them match up against each other, I feel like G2 found a way to just break their front to back and their main strat of just getting the 3rd dragon, playing with side lanes. There's that really popular casual video, right? There's a lot of breakdown on that. So I want to see if BDS are going to come out with something new, or if they're just going to stick with the 1-2 control mage, run it back, free ball delivery.
Adam is back.
What, sorry?
Adam is back.
Adam is back,
been
and
unbenched.
Asir not
And Asir is not available. That could actually be a big...
Ban Ori GG?
I mean, I think there are more champs like Wade, Taliyah, pretty sure New can play that.
Yep.
And I think if they want to keep sticking to their style with mates and like front to back, they will do it, right? But I feel like BDS is like they're shining too much about like being disciplined, and I think it will show this game.
Cool. You guys see that all right? Or?
There you go, the Taliyah.
Hey.
Taliyah, B1 Flex, just really OP right now, because you don't see it as much in Eastern regions, I feel like, in 14.4. What are your thoughts on B1 Taliyah Flex? You don't have to go super in depth.
I think it's just really strong because of Asir being out, honestly.
Oh, that's true. Is it not good into Azir? I thought it was even better because
It's good
Azir.
into Asir, but then the Orianna Asir handshake will be like a bit different in my opinion, because usually you are like one team gets Orianna, the other gets Asir,
Yeah.
but now Asir is out, so one team bans Orianna, then they first pick Taliyah.
Oh, there's your favorite champion.
Oh. Yeah, there you go, the dragon.
my favorite thing to do here is to drop support at R3, and then when they pick support, you counter pick it on R3, and then you just secure scaling like we were talking about before. I wonder if that's what we're going to see, or we'll see a Nautilus early. I feel like Nautilus blind has been a big thing.
Nautilus very strong against champs like Smolder, Zeri, where you can just R him and kind of neutralize him for the team fight a bit.
Ahri.
Ahri. Blind pick coming out. It's been seen a lot more since the buffs to the charm.
I think it's they kind of know it's gonna be Taliyah mid, right? That's why I don't think Sheo will play Taliyah jungle.
Wait, he can't. I guess he can hover it. He just can't lock it in.
Sheo not much of a jungle Taliyah player?
I just read it out that he will play Taliyah jungle.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, personally not a big fan of the state of Taliyah jungle right now. I think it's way better in mid, and in pro play it's harder to pull, right?
Yeah. I think Rel could go. I love Rel Taliyah as a duo because they set up each other.
Yeah.
Right, and it also I guess works well with Ahri charm as well.
So Zeri and Smolder.
Surprised to see a Rel here?
No, I think Rel looks very good here, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They can go Rel,
Nautilus.
they can go Nautilus. Some setup for the
And now
Taliyah.
Braum, probably I think, is really good as a counter pick, and then you secure the scaling for the Smolder.
They can also do Rel themselves too. We will see.
We'll see. It's all.
Or maybe they can even drop if they have a lot of champs that they can pick right now. Mikyx can pick.
Alistair as well. Yep.
Yeah, Alistair.
There it is. Really good into both. You just don't sort of die, but I feel like these are your two premier choices when it comes to anti-Nautilus.
Yep.
Right. So how do you think they should round out the composition if you're the side of
right now, G2 wants to front to back, right, and let Smolder scale. So they should look to pick something tanky or something that can be strong in early game. For example, like Voli would be pretty decent for me, for G2 side. But I don't know if VDS will ban it.
What do you think about Wukong Sejuani as a rotation we saw in the first game of today? I feel like Renekton's sort of a setup ban for Wukong because it is a negative matchup in my opinion. Well, that's where it used to be anyway. Potentially there with synergy with the Braum, and it also gives you engage.
Yeah, I think Wukong can be really strong, but I think has a lot of bad matchups on top. I think last game he played against TF, which I think is a very good lane for...
Yeah. He counter-picked into it, but maybe with the Sejuani pairing it makes up.
Yeah.
So, what do you think this Jace is a setup ban for? Do you think it's just a Jace blind cover off because it's just so OP? I think Jace is really, really good right now top lane as well.
I think... Actually, I don't know why they're banning
Sejuani Jax rotation? Could be. I feel like Jace is not bad into Jax, but then maybe the duo overcomes the Jace.
Yeah, okay, there's a Jax.
As a Sejuani, we're talking about it a lot. I feel like it's risen a lot in priority recently, hasn't it? Because of the buffs to these champions.
Yeah, and also the priority of the new Knight's Bow, or like people realized how broken it is for the cost it takes. And Sejuani is also very strong.
They doubled the armor on it from was it preseason? And I feel like since Frozen, you've just replaced Kano, Recurrent, and themes and that.
Oh, listen. So they're looking to play through mid jungle with the Ahri listen to camp the Taliyah a lot.
Good pairing. What other pairings do you have with Taliyah? Stuff like, I feel like, Poppy.
I think I would still play Rel. Poppy looks pretty decent, not the best against smaller Braum. But yeah, Poppy looks decent, I guess, to counter the lead.
And top lane, Aatrox blind. Now, Wukong is really, really good into Aatrox.
I mean, there is a Poppy also in enemy side, so that lowers a bit the prio, but they don't care. Also, Zac, they don't care.
Oh, they do? Do you think they'll go for this?
I don't think they should pick Zac.
Because Smolder, it's good into Aatrox though. I've just seen Zeus play it, but it's probably not going to be the thing.
Yeah.
So
let's see what Broken Blade picks. Voli.
Ooh.
Okay.
Super interesting. Gets prio a lot early game. Voli recently been
That's
popping up a lot
pretty good,
more.
Into Poppy Aatrox kinda, and he got buffed so much.
Yeah, wins every melee matchup kinda.
Yeah.
So
I think Aatrox can play this matchup from like level 5-6 onwards, but for sure he could get dove a lot.
He needs points in his Q to reduce so he can actually fight, right?
Yeah.
That's the big thing with Aatrox. He always loses priority because of the long Q cooldown.
So. Yeah, we got a little stat. Broken Blade Volibear, 0 wins, 3 losses. Last played at Worlds 2020. But
2020?
Yeah, 2020. That's 4 years ago, so let's see if he got better.
It's buff Voli, so it's different, right?
It's completely different. It's also a different Broken Blade. Yeah. All right. Who wins?
I'm pretty sure they will try to dive the Aatrox a lot from G2 side, and I think BDS wants to like make sure that the Taliyah and the Zeri are scaling and they can stack Drakes.
This it looks like a hard Lee Sin game, no?
Yeah.
Would you want to play Lee Sin in this game?
I think not really, but if you're a good Lee Sin, you can always play against Poppy. Like if it's not like insanely big counter, it's playable, right?
So mid to top bridge for G2 and get the Smolder scaling. That's the name of the game.
Yeah.
Nice TLDR. Thank you both for that, and let's head over to our casters.
Thank you so much. Lovely to have you guys take over the draft, get that insight from Razork. And here we are. A good Lee Sin can always make it happen, which is what every Lee Sin, regardless of their skill, tells themselves when they queue up. So while Yike is a great jungler, I am a little bit nervous at the windows of opportunity that have been closed off against a champion like Taliyah, against a champion like Poppy. We'll see how it works. But yeah, jungle naturally a pretty big focus. Poppy, when we see her, usually incredibly active. A similar story for Lee Sin. So see if it's an explosive early game for both sides as we get ready for BDS versus G2.
This mid jungle is going to be an absolute bloodbath if G2 have it the way they want to. I mean, every time you pick an Ahri, you want something that's going to be able to synergize well with it, get that damage off, and Lee Sin has kind of been the go-to even when we look back at last year as well. And BDS immediately want to try and make some funny shenanigans happen and see if maybe they can get a bit of an advantage here.
Right down on that. Braum is going to be caught out. Mikyx, not the start to the game that he was looking for. Unbreakable. Fading away, the flash in, little wall bang coming out. Quick first blood for Ice, excellent start for BDS.
Yeah, flash forward did it. I think he started E there though to get the stun, which means that he's going to struggle a little bit on his setup when it comes to, oh hey,
when
it comes to
Dagda. We're focused on the first blood, sorry, we got distracted.
Yeah, but Poppy now going to struggle when it comes towards our clear, so if I'm Yike, there's opportunities now to try and punish that, to say, look, I'm going to have a bit of a faster get through my jungle, so see if I can get into some of these lanes a little bit faster. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Sheo try and start out on this bottom side, get some help from his AD carry to at least get through that improper start, and then see if you can get to your level 2 pretty quick.
I also feel like if you're Sheo in this position, you can be like, Ice, you literally have to give me 5 extra auto attacks. You get to walk to lane with a longsword, like you have to pay me, and an extra pot, you know, like, you owe me.
Yeah, and you got the experience. You're going to hit the level 2
I
anyway,
could have
so
taken Q for me. I took E for you, buddy. You owe me a little extra time. And they're, you know, not going to give it to him.
They're not going to give it to him at all, no. You're on your own, buddy.
He knows his role. He's not a Taliyah jungle guy. He doesn't get to play it. He has to play the Poppy. He has to be the facilitator.
But still, going to hit the level 2. You'll be fine here, Sheo. You're going to take the E on the level 2 anyway, so it's not going to slow him down too much, but at least Yike will have a bit of a quicker start as he moves on through it. But I do think a lot of this is going to be like level 4, level 5, seeing if you can get Yike in towards mid lane, get Capz up and rolling, and just punish Nuke in the early stages. And obviously the desk was already kind of hitting on it. Having the fact that you've got Sheo's W, Nuke's E, it's going to make it a little bit more difficult to try and play through that matchup.
Definitely is going to be tricky to navigate in this fight. We'll see what the setup is, as BDS, unsurprisingly, pretty comfortable and aggressive on the bottom side, and this is big. Again, if you haven't watched or played against Smolder, he scales, he's chilling, he wants his stacks, he gets 225 of them, it feels like the game is over. It's not quite the Cassidon meme, time's up, but without the hotfix, it's pretty damn close. So.
It's like, it's not even halfway through day 1 and I'm already sick of Smolder.
Yeah.
It's like, look,
no,
I like the way this champion's designed, but the scaling is absurd. And once you do get those 225 stacks and beyond, it kind of gets disgusting. Like Aldea, our stats person, was saying, like, there's 22 pentakills from this Smolder pick already, and he's only just been enabled.
That's why I kind of love this bot lane matchup. It's like Zeri versus Smolder. It's like most likely to get a pentakill and most likely also not to get any credit because no one is impressed. Like that's what the champion does.
It's like Setta's CS numbers, right? We have to extract his KDA whenever we play Smolder and then look at the rest of us.
I feel like the designers, you know, at Riot are like in an arms race to see who can design the AD carry, who can like get the most pentakills. Whoever designed Smolder is winning, so see if Zeri can make a comeback here.
Well, that's why she had to get buffed, right?
Yeah,
so that you can see Zeri versus
It's really the pentakill battle. Maokai gets buffs for Freak. Zeri and Smolder get buffs for their respective designers, you know. I assume is how it works.
It's unfair.
One thing we haven't talked about yet is this top lane matchup. Obviously, Aatrox, you're probably used to seeing. Volibear, I wouldn't say flavor of the month, got some pretty significant buffs, especially when it comes to that Q move speed. As well, the Thought Charm going a bit wide. Sonic Wave will connect, but G2 just bringing in Yike to support that push out from Capz.
Yeah, I think we're going to see basically this continue to happen. Because as you say, like, unfortunately, Charm going wide means that you can't get the combo down. But in the top side, BB is going to go for this. We've seen us 2 different style of builds coming through for the Volibear. So one is going to be your jungle style, which is I'm going to build more fighter. And the top side is going to be I'm building more tank. So he's going to reset, pick up a tier. He's then going to come back. He's going to work up towards his unending despair and then go into Fimbulwinter and tanky and beyond. The whole idea is you get a ton of sustain off of your W and off of your shields, especially when you get into things like a Spirit Visage for this champion, and you just don't die. So BB going to be perfectly fine in this matchup, but it does mean your most explosive moment is going to be for G2 in that mid lane, and that's where all the action's going to be.
And just kind of what will eventually become the battle of effectively drain tanks on the top side.
Yeah,
exactly. The Aatrox and the Volibear, and You know, when you're able to just build full tank, focus on some of that early armor, it can limit the impact of what we very much expect to be the more lethality-focused Aatrox. So then we'll see if Adam has any adaptations of his own. That said, a relatively quiet early game. Quick Smolder stack check, 32 in 5 minutes, not bad. But yeah, name of the game, as we saw kind of in our first game with Vitality Team Heretics, is like, if you can do anything to slow the Smolder down, if you can try to apply more pressure on the bottom side of the map, limit this, things will go in your favor. That said, when there's a Braum, when you have that support counter pick into the Nautilus, I feel like it makes it so much more difficult to actually meaningfully threaten the Smolder.
And I think that's why we're looking at like the supports to see what they can do. And Labrov wants to see if he can get onto Capz.
Confident movement forward from Capz, knowing Yike is behind him. Mikyx now on the way too. That's a man advantage. Charm going to connect. Excellent buffer coming in from Labrov. That could have been his life, but Sheo now coming in as well, knocking Mikyx back. Not quite going to connect on the wall, and Breakable to block the follow-up. They're taking a sweet time, bit of an awkward fight, but BDS are now the ones with the man advantage. Again, the flick back not going to connect. Yike just barely able to make it out. He's stunned, but the follow-up is not there. GD2 holding on. BDS had the man advantage, but can't quite finish the kills.
Nuke just missing that flick back was a disaster. That could have been the easy pickup, and then you start to move that over towards like Void Grubs and stuff, but instead, they're not quite able to get it. But Sheo is going to move over towards the Dragon since a lot of G2 are low.
Yep, low, forcing the reset, so tempo advantage to the side of the BDS. Doesn't mean the Dragon started for now, will eventually get taken down. Probably not quite pulled back by the chains there. Sky Splitter to clear the wave. We're going to watch a lot of bears and or man bears proxy waves today, Rob.
It does feel like League is starting to turn into a little bit of like, oh, McDonald's farm. Because we've got like Zeri, who inevitably will bring Yuumi the cat. We've now got a bear in it. We've also got a dragon in it. It just feels like this weird mythical farm that we're going to. Yeah.
Dragon. Yeah. I want a panda champion. Why do we get baby dragon? Where's our baby panda champion? Everybody likes baby
Kung Fu
pandas.
Panda?
Yeah, where's Kung Fu Panda? Why is it Jack Black in League of Legends? Yeah. These are the questions that keep me up at night. That and how are Ice and Labrov really going to stop Smolder from scaling? Because I don't want to overplay it here, but again, the hotfix was pretty massive, and we are pre-hotfix. That said, a dive would be a great way to do it. Hansama knock back at the wall, that's clean, and the flick back not going to miss this time. Excellently coordinated dive by the side of BDS. The counterplay coming through on top side already. Lee Sin there, Volibear there, man advantage for G2, but they're not going to go for anything. Just a free kill to the side of BDS.
Yeah, I think with Ice taking that much damage, they can't really go for any more underneath the turret. Still though, yeah, Ice gonna get interrupted again, so at least Hansama will be able to get back into the spot lane. Adam gonna spot out the Yike is here, but with the level advantage for Adam, he's gonna be able to at least force Yike off of these camps on the top side. So BB will end up just responding with a turret plate for himself. Maybe with the ultimate from BB, they can actually dive, so Adam has to be very careful here.
Adam, no ulti either. This, little bit greedy. Yike going for the setup, can't quite find the angle on the Sonic Wave. Creep Wave is there, forcing the flash out, keep in mind. Landing one of those Q sweet spots once the Infernal Chains have already connected essentially guarantees the pullback, so Yike knowing he needs to flash.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Maybe they're trying to wait for Yike to hit level 6 off the creep wave. You can see he's very close to that, and maybe that was the place to even, when you look at the position of the E from Broken Blade, it was more towards trying to finish off like some creeps that were there, but I don't know. That was a bit of a weird one.
A bit odd. Broken Blade stepping forward, gets interruption on the Q, so it does reset the cooldown. Just a little fun thing in Volibear's kit. You see him, he still gets to just keep running at you.
Surprised to see he hasn't gone for the tier though in this, because most of the times when I see the tank Volibear stats, it's more like a get that Nimble Winter so you can just continuously throw down your E and start to poke down. But I mean, yeah, an Aatrox may not be worth it.
If you're going to play a long enough laning phase where the whole goal is to drain tank and just kind of out-sustain, you really need access to your abilities, right? Your sustain is entirely your W, the shielding, the Sky Split. Like these abilities aren't cheap. Certainly cheap compared to a lot of mages, but you need that additional mana very often. But now checking in across the board for itemization, Perchy's Shard, so unsurprising to see, you know, the static focus as it has been for Zeri just about everywhere. And of course the Essence Reaver for Smolder. Again, Hansama getting shut down a little bit early on is a big deal, slowing the Smolder scaling, something that BDS can try to capitalize on further.
It's also something that we've started to see a little bit more, especially when you look across the LCS, is like, okay, first 3 grubs will give up, but suddenly at like 10 minutes we get a lot of fighting for those Void grubs at the top side. So especially with Labrov and Ice having control over this bottom side, I think that's where we're going to see is Labrov starts to move now. More push towards, hey, can we play around Ahri in the mid lane, try and contest the next set of Void grubs so G2 don't get the next, or to get those 6 stacks, and then you can always reset in time for something like a Dragon if you really want to, but that's a bit of a tight window because there's only a 30-second difference at the moment between the two.
Pressure on the top side for BDS. We'll see if Adam wants to back here. He doesn't really have any coverage, but feels confident they can get it. Nuke, the charm going to connect this time. There's just no counterplay. Double flick back does not matter. Yike grabbing the kill there. Clean play coming in from Capz. You can see why they prioritize the Ahri, regardless of who it's up against. Really excellent setup.
It's really hard to spot that as well because it was a lane gank. You don't really have any vision that's that deep into the enemy jungle. So nice setup from G2 and just Capz using that ultimate to close the distance. And now that will give them a lot of control when it comes towards, hey, we can get this reset in. Capz could even TP back in the mid lane as well. Working up towards that Malignance, he's going to be in a great spot. So a lot of control coming off that. But Capz not having the ultimate may make things a little bit more difficult for G2 if they want to try and take a fight at these Void groups.
It's on BDS to capitalize on the opportunity, however. Still flashes up for Cap, flashes up for Noob. Again, just once you're caught out by that CC, there's just so little room. There's just too much damage on the mid-jungle duo. You know, it's kind of highlighted on the desk as well. Mid-jungle, expecting to play into top, but honestly, Broken Blade has been left in isolation, and it's looked good so far outside of that one top lane play that was a bit of a fumble from him and Yike.
Yeah, I mean, Volibear is just so strong at the moment. He's always been a bit of a lane bully, and the fact that he got a ton of buffs, including to like the move speed on his Q, which is kind of what got people interested in him again. It makes it so hard to try and focus him down. So as long as BB has full control up here, I mean, Yike can kind of do what he wants if he's in a position to start moving over towards even potential dives on top side once more. The last one didn't go so hot, so maybe they pull the brakes a little bit.
Yeah. At this point, you're fine. You know, BB is getting plates. G2, small gold lead does matter. Of course, there's the Drake on the side of BDS, but all things considered, relatively even early game. The big thing is kind of AD scaling. I feel like if we're going to have a slower game where things are going to be closer overall, we're kind of just looking at the late game arms race of Smolder versus Zeri. Smolder certainly feels like the easier champion to get value out of.
And that's the thing. I think for BDS, it's, look, we talked about potentially going for Void Grubs, but I think they're more interested in Dragons going, hey, if we can fight third, fourth before Smolder gets to, you know, the 2-2-5 stacks at 25 minutes, that's fantastic. So let's try and see if we can move in that direction. But G2 with the quicker resets and off of that early kill for Capz having that quicker reset as well, they've just set up control now in River and making it difficult for BDS to move in. Like, this choke point is going to be miserable for BDS to try and come through.
They're matched 4v4, but G2 just have better positioning, better vision coverage at this point, so BDS has to be very careful about walking in. They can see both top laners present, so they know at maximum it's an even matchup. They need to catch the wave in mid, not willing to give up, you know, a couple hundred gold just to try to contest. Not even really have access to the sure thing. Mikyx stepping forward to body block. Ice, shock laser over the wall. TP now coming in. G2 want to force the fight here. They think they found the angle. Nuke, though, is going to see Broken Blade now coming in. Going to try to stop the Volibear following up, getting the impact wall. Isn't really effective here. Knockback is there. Capz still has a dash forward, but Labrov, sidestep coming in. Mew on the top side. Adam not committing the TP, doesn't have access to it. Instead, going to be focused on trying to knock down as many plates as possible. But that bear does not care. There he goes. Oh, yike! The hard reads coming in. He can't see, but he also can't miss. Yike clean with the play.
That was really cool from Yike. Could have gone very differently though for G2. At the start, it's like, okay, we're going to be able to set up nicely where we push BDS into that bot side. And then they bring in BB to try and make sure they're coming into play. Adam could have back away. Speed up though from BB.
Again, the stun instantly into the ult. Follow-up is there. Yike is living every Lee Sin's dream. All of his laners have great setup. He gets to point and click his Q just about every time.
Yeah, it's a nice L time to be a Lee Sin in this kind of matchup. But again, I think the fact that you've managed now to chase BDS off of this bot side dragon and get the dragon, and now you've managed to get some control on top side, could have worked out well, but because BB ended up spending so much in trying to push Adam off, Sheo managed to get the reset timer out, BDS are back out of the map, so won't be able to turn that into the Void Grubs, which I think could have been a nice moment for G2, but we're still contesting here.
Yeah, considering Mickey there as well. Maybe trying to go for a fast play here onto Adam. BDS, though, first access here, not great vision coverage from G2. Don't really have concrete information on where Taliyah is. She's backing, but in the fog of war, so G2 are still going to risk it anyway. Confident enough to step forward. Capz ready to dash forward. Q flash forward from Mickey. That's the lockup there. Labrov again buffering on the hook. The kickback is clean, though, onto Sheo. Another dash coming in from Capz. Labrov likely to fall as well. Yike on a killing spree. You heard it from Razork on the desk. If you're good enough, at least, then you can make it work. And G2 are making it work.
I mean, that was a sick attempt from Labrov to get out of there. Takes a step back, tanks the charm from Capz so he can then use his dredge line to move out, but unfortunately it just wasn't enough, and with Yike getting that kick, solidifies a double kill now for G2, and if Adam sticks around, could end up in a lot more trouble. Did get the reset coming through from Mickey though, so it would just be 2 members. So Adam, just going to take that reset anyway.
Yeah, and we'll see how this matchup shapes up once Adam has another item under his belt. Looks like Sunder Sky coming out first, but when we look back at that Dragon play, part of the reason it went so well for G2 is because BB did have the TP advantage, was pushed up so far that Adam really couldn't get much more than a single plate on the pushback, and now Capz moving up the top side. They think they might have caught the recall here. On the bottom side of the map, though, G2 have to be a little bit careful. Mickey potentially caught out, follow up from Taliyah wall. is available if they want to go for a play. Labrov waiting in the darkness will get spotted. Will be forced to walk back here as Ice trying to keep the pressure up mid lane.
So coming back to that Dragon, I do think it's a little bit greedy from G2 to commit the TP from the Broken Blade. Because basically what you could have done was take Dragon, and immediately with the way BDS were set up, you can just push them out bot side and then all group onto mid lane tower as G2 take mid lane tower because you've got the numbers advantage there and BDS are in an awkward spot. But now, we'll see if they can catch Sheo. Just get stunned.
The bear has been sent packing, but Sheo instantly going to get knocked up. And yeah, that's a very strong Lee Sin. Early Eclipse going to make sure the damage is there. Sheo still running, though. Still tanky. Nuke doing whatever he can to fire back, but it's not nearly enough. And here comes the bear, baby. Wall coming out as well. I don't know if you've seen Cocaine Bear, but this is basically the plot in a nutshell.
Broken Blade relentless. Unstoppable in that one. He was not going to let them get away. I mean, the fact that Sheo tried to use his ultimate, buffers it, and you still get BB to get the stun. Then you get the opportunity to try and knock someone back, and still they end up getting the dredge line, or not the dredge line, the knock-up coming through from Mikyx as well. That was just heartbreaking for Sheo. He did so many things just a second too late to be able to save himself. But nice job from G2 again, just finding picks on side lanes, making sure they're collapsing before BDS are already in a position on the map, and making BDS pay for it.
So Broken Blade already just uncontested on this tower. Nuke going to be forced to respond, but G2 already moving members to the top side of the map to contest the Herald to get control over that area. So Nuke going to be a little bit behind on the play if Broken Blade does reset and want to move up.
Well, that's the thing, is that as long as Taliyah is spot on the bot side, if they've timed the TP correctly, they can actually TP in towards the Rift Herald without Taliyah being able to answer. So I think that's essentially what they're trying to play for here. Play for Rift Herald. They know they got the teleport advantage, and as long as BB doesn't get caught by the Nautilus roam here from Labrov, they know that they've got that extra little bit of timing on the map. So nicely done here by G2. Get the play on the bot side, guarantee themselves bot side control, and now they guarantee themselves the Rift Herald off the numbers play as well.
Keep moving in, just control a bit of vision. Adam, very diligent in not being spotted, but just the edge of the sweeper is going to catch him out. They know he's right there. Herald will drop in favor of G2. Nuke is able to push that wave in on the bottom side. Maybe can start to move up. It's 14 seconds till the Drake. Sheo and Ice waiting together, looking for some good damage onto Mikyx. Unbreakable there. He can just dash away. Buy a bit more time. Yike in the area too. Have to be careful. G2 backing off. BDS should just be able to break mid here if they want to commit. G2 potentially a little bit over eager here. Are going to end up losing mid lane tower. BDS, do they have enough of an advantage to transition this to Drake? It looks like the answer is yes.
Yeah, especially with the position Yike's in. Moved up towards that top side, considered making a play there. BB going to TP in. They're going to try and go for Adam instead.
I'm concerned about the Drake instead. Laser focused on Adam. Capz trying to keep this one going. One dash in, waiting on the charm. Waiting till the angle is right, dashing in, not giving Adam any room to maneuver. Finally going to connect on that one. Yike moving in. Should just be an easy finish here. Adam trying to turn it back though, healing so much. But still, Capz able to clear up that kill. BDS grabbing the Drake. Meanwhile, on the bottom side of the map.
That was greedy from Adam. You already had the play in mid, and you were going to get the Dragon. That's the big win. But now, because you end up overextending that top side, G2, they're going to get the Rift Herald, and more than likely, we'll be able to get a good amount of damage on towards this top side turret. TP forced out to make sure that they're able to hold on to this. But you can see Capz already resetting. G2 want to see if they can try and make plays elsewhere. Actually going to cancel that reset, so numbers out on the map here for BDS if they want to try and make a play on towards mid or elsewhere.
Your eyes on Labrov. Looks like he will be moving down to the bottom side of the map, so they're ready to cover that push coming in from Broken Blade with more resources. Adam moving there as well. Ice still able to hold control over the mid lane at this point in the game. Does get harder as Smolder gets obviously more stacks under his belt. Only 142 right now for Juan Sama. But Broken Blade will be able to grab this tower. Should just back away after, but if he overcommits, BDS might be able to punish.
So I just noticed, I think BB forgot to buy tier. Because he's now got
it.
A very, very late tier. But
sometimes you go back 400 gold for no combat stats. You know, it's
yeah,
not,
I mean, I understand.
A bridge that you want to, you know.
I mean, look, maybe he just need the combat stats in the matchup, but we'll still be working up. Just there you go. Well, not quite Winter yet, but yeah. Winter's approach picked up for himself. So, and yeah, this is just going to be a very, very tanky BB that sets up beautifully for. Hey, you got Smolder in behind it. Yike as well with the Sunder Sky and the Eclipse now picked up is very strong. He finds the 1v1. But speaking of,
Capz gonna hit the charm. Unraveled Earth does not matter. And Capz is going to keep dancing around him, but there's Labrov, the flash, and he gets the kill. Now he has one more dash. He can get back. BDS are committing everything. Counter punch from G2 in the mid lane. They're going to be able to grab a tower back, but that is a huge shutdown for BDS.
I mean, it's a 1-for-1 in the top side. So you're kind of happy as that as Capz, and you're going to get the mid lane turret. Yes, he traded for the top side, but mid turret is always more valuable in these kind of scenarios. And even then, going to be the resets coming through. Wasn't sure how heavily they want to try and commit down onto this bot side for linking up with BB, maybe looking for a tier 2. Would have been probably a little bit too late with where BDS are positioned on the map, but still, I mean, trading equally here for G2.
Yeah, 1 for 1. Feeling a little bit better for BDS because of the shutdown, but ultimately credit to Capz mechanically. Once he was in that situation, it took a lot of skill to actually finalize that kill and not leave Nuke with a blinking health bar, and Capz with a little bit of embarrassment. Of course, it is the Malignance. We talked about this. This is kind of the conventional Ahri build. Did not opt for Leandries, as we frequently see as second item, instead opting for Lichbane. Not a lot of tanks on the opposite side that are priority targets for Ahri. Instead, more about killing the Zeri, killing the Taliyah, maybe killing the Aatrox.
It's also because a lot of the way BDS want to try and operate is through side lanes, so like having that stronger 1v1 potential as you saw from Capz is just super nice. But yeah, mechanically, Capz kind of stalling on folks, and I think at this stage you're kind of in a bit of an awkward position as BDS. You've 2 minutes until next Dragon, but the Dragon stacking doesn't really matter for you, because at this stage it's like, okay, well, Capz and Yike are so far ahead that they're going to be able to take over in a lot of these fights. Even the positioning that you have on, hey, can we get control on side lanes? Not really happening, because Nuke can't really continue to push out, so G2 make it significantly easier for them to contest a lot of these objectives now and start to drift that vision control forward. And you can even see it at the moment, right? Push in mid-wave, use Yike to get control against the Zeri, and then lit her topside with wards to allow Capz to punish in the 1v1.
A little bit of vision. Got back here from BDS, but you can see G2 slowly choking out BDS vision on the top side. It's going to make it so hard to make good decisions. Capz dashing in, the charm's still going to connect despite Sheo's intervention. Capz still standing, and here comes Mom, baby! Chore's not done for BDS. They're sent home. They were not allowed out to play.
The Mama Bear combo was too much for BDS. Terra gets shut off, the Dragon Fire comes in and absolutely rinses BDS underneath that turret. And now you can see him. He immediately over towards the Baron. They're like, Grant, we've completely destroyed the top side. There's nobody here to contest.
Mama Bear line Rob firing. You're a content genius. BDS going to struggle to respond. Our audience eventually going to struggle to deal with all of the Smolder-related mom jokes, but for now, you'll suffer through, just as we suffer through this Smolder. BDS might have to suffer against a Baroned up G2, who aren't interested in the Purple Worm, instead interested in getting a few more kills under their belt. Concussive blow stack now coming in. Yike looking for the ball. Capz off to the side. Ice now trying to turn. Keep your eyes on that Zeri. It has to be all about Ice, but already front line falling apart. Nuke! The flick back onto 3 is everything. He got it! In the moment, Nuke now chasing through. It's BDS. Do they want to start at the Worm? Can they start the objective to chase down onto Mikyx? Is big. He's not quite going to drop, but that flick, clutch. That is a game-defining play from Nuke.
And just like that, BDS are going to end up against the Baron. The fact now that you're going to have a massive amount of side lane pressure that you can use with this Baron is going to be huge for this squad. And that was insane. G2 over-aggressing way too much into the choke point, and this looked dodgy from the get-go, right? It's 3 versus 5 essentially with Capz coming in the side. You've got a nice cover here. Sheo's only coming from the face. You're waiting on this TP, so BDS are trying to kite back. And yes, you get the kills, but the second you all group up on this side, that flick from Nuke, 3 key members of G2 taken out. And BB and Mikyx, they just got nothing left. I mean, the fact Mikyx survives here is a miracle.
Certainly is. But from a G2 perspective, you highlighted already, they knew Sheo's gone. He's not a part of the equation. They can just force the Baron down. They don't have to take the fight. Of course, a little bit riskier when you don't have clean access, but over-eager perhaps to just play for those kills to get even more. And now, you know, we're looking at a pretty small gold deficit. Yes, again, Smolder continues to scale, but Zeri is also a laking terror. 3 items for Ice.
And this is now where we got to see if BDS are going to be able to use this Baron. Because one of the big things that we talk about a lot with BDS is, look, their team fighting is exceptional. But when it comes to map play and how they use like some of these advantages of Baron and stuff, hasn't been the greatest. So now G2 already in a position where they're just going to look to try and trade against BDS because they weren't back out on the map faster. So at least you'll answer tower for tower. But this is where I want to see, okay, how do you match up against G2? Because this is a team that is the best at macro in our league. Yep. And if BDS can out-maneuver and outthink G2 on the map with this Baron, this is where they can close out this game.
Capz, of course, left to the bottom side of the map. You can see Adam debating the recall there if he needed to respond to that play. Ops to hold on for now, but Capz going to keep this pressure point up. They already conceded both tier 2s. Hard for BDS to get a lot more than that. It should be fine to just walk up and clear this, however. Karma again connecting. Inside of the laning phase, Capz has been incredibly precise there, but the tower's still standing. So G2 drawing some attention at least to the bottom side of the map, leveraging Capz's ultimate. delaying some of the impact of the Baron, but 2 tier 2s already down, not bad for a first Baron of the game.
Ooh, Nuke trying to pick off Capz there, but I think it's a little bit over-eager. At this stage, I think you just want to try and catch mid-wave, push that out, and then commit everyone to this bottom side of the map to get this last remaining outer turret there for BDS. But without that mid-wave, you can see this is going to be a little bit disjointed, right? So Zeri now is clearing mid as this wave is starting to approach this bot side turret. So I don't see... There's a one ward in the Dragon Pit that maybe BB can try and teleport to get a flank opportunity. I'm curious if that's what they're going to try and look for here, but Hansama going to move across the mid to just to try and pick up, and there's the TP instead, just the turret to try and defend this.
A bit more time. Again, Hansama incredibly close to the 225 stack breakpoint. That's where you start with the execute. Just hit like a truck. Capz taking a bit of a chunk here. Unbreakable from Mikyx. Sheo just happy to get that cooldown. Nice heads up play. Doesn't commit the ultimate quite yet, but Adam is now going to be in trouble. Dash back to safety. Ultimate immediately coming out. Bomb makes a brief appearance, but not for too long here as BDS are now on their retreat. G2 still incredibly powerful overall. BDS can maybe fight Ice Untouched for now. The Bear leaping in, the Bear leaping out. Shut down for Adam. Ice, a little parkour over the wall. Nice size up on the charm as well. Hansama flying out to safety. But even an hotfix flat won't finish that one off.
Nuke TP's in, but he's got to disappear immediately. A little bit of miscommunication by BDS, but botlane tower remains standing. So for G2, get some kills. You managed to hold on to that botlane tower, which is a big win. But still, like, it's a lot of gold going over into BDS's pockets, right? Because you get top, you got mid as well. So at the moment, even if you look at the top of your screen, like, gold is still incredibly even, and Ice, if he's able to deal damage in these fights, is going to be in a great spot. But when you're in a position like that where you're trying to dive underneath the tower and there's a lot of safety for Smolder, it becomes very difficult for Ice to really threaten the backline. You can see it here, right? The Ice is trying to hit onto people, but he's very short range. There's little opportunities for him to really maneuver in to get the damage down. Whereas when you look at the backline, with the Achu there, you actually hit the 225 stacks, I know, for Hansama. So you actually end up with getting this burn across, which is, in the end of the day, what finishes off Labrov. And it just makes it very, very difficult for BDS to try and aggress forward, which is why Ice sees his opportunity here and tries to go in, use some of this extra static damage that you get off of the ultimates to maybe pick off members, but just doesn't quite have enough in the tank.
I would say displeasure on the face of the coaches there. It was hard to say exactly what that was. So Smolder's online. He's a real dragon now. So we can stop talking about that, because by the end of the day, you'll wonder what we've said more over our broadcast lifetimes, Legacy Dynasty Kings, or Smolder needs 225 stacks.
Yeah, it's just 225.
Yeah. So he's there. We can stop now. Don't worry. He's very strong. Ulti very strong. Very low cooldown. The E, of course, the part that was hot fixed. 3 times as powerful from a scaling perspective. Essentially, more or less, when it comes to that hot fix. So keep your eyes on the flat. There's a lot of autos coming out there. BDS, of course, dead even in gold. So I feel like we're in a position where it's a lot about execution, but as you mentioned earlier, Rob, BDS sometimes struggle here. If they can get the full-on 5v5, I have full faith that they can execute, but if it becomes a game about maneuvering, side lane control, and kind of discipline around these tough calls, G2 are generally pretty favored.
Yeah, and I think that's where, if you're G2, it would be lovely to try and get into a position on Dragon, nice, so then you're able to contest BDS as they're trying to enter into River. Like, a lot of your guys are, you know, straight line projectiles that work very well in that scenario, or like a lot of AoE in these corridors that will work particularly well. Whereas when you're BDS, I think having multiple opportunities where if you can fight in River, because you open up space for Ice, you open up space for Nuke to try and cut out members, and even for Sheo to cut across members of G2 and keep them out of the fight, either with the ultimate or his own E's or W, I think is going to be very important here. So at least with BDS, having control at the moment on the map state means it's going to be easier for them to try and find that fight that favors them.
Yeah, and you can see pretty good discipline when it comes to establishing a vision line. No real wards for G2 to play around. This should just be a Drake for BDS. Broken Blade forcing in that top wave, so someone will be required to respond on the side of BDS eventually. But for now, this play going in their favor. That said, Labrov you can see on the minimap on a little bit of a walkabout, but G2 don't want to get over-eager. Try to punish.
Yeah, I think their biggest worry is that G2 might just try and rush the Baron as they're getting position on towards the spot side. May even be the case here, to be perfectly honest. So just getting some vision down to spot it if G2 are going into the area. But I think G2, because of the way the waves were positioned, aren't really able to get like vision control down that allowed them to do it. And yes, they got some damage that can try and burst it, but just not quite enough to be like, okay, we're comfortable going for this. So BDS at the moment taking control here, and Labrov going to be able to clear out some of this vision. Zeri and Nuke are in base, so you do have to be a little bit careful here, Labrov.
Yep, there it is. Sonic Wave right into the charm. G2 find the angle. Quick support pick. Sheo ulti now coming out, so Labrov gone. Overconfident, too comfortable. Didn't see really anyone on the map and still felt comfortable to walk in a fog of war. It's the old Schrodinger's G2 problem.
Capz hovering off the wings. Wants to see if he can get the flank here. Spotted by Adam, though, with a nice ward. So Capz just going to back away instead into the rest of the team. But this is where Ice and Nuke, they need to have a hero moment. Nuke in particular had that big fight. Can he make it happen again?
You have to be so careful about grouping. G2 see an opportunity. Unbreakable now coming out. There's the bomb called in. Adam on the backside. The charm not going to connect. Adam now trying to get out to safety. He's zoned off here. So BDS have gotten the space that they wanted, but keep your eyes on Capz. He's fishing for the flank. Unraveled Earth already laid down. Yeah, continuing to step up. A bit scattered. Capz in the midst of the wave right now. Another charm not going to connect. BDS, good discipline thus far, just pulling back, retreating, trying to leverage the power of that Taliyah. Surprisingly tempered fight. Sheo caught out, but ooh, good damage coming in. Yike not going to follow. Labrov off to the side, has to be careful. Doesn't really have anyone to back him up if he overextends. G2. They have proved that they are the superior Lion here and will bully them away from the objective.
Still, though, you've got double TP coming for Adam and for Nuke, so they're going to reset and try and re-go into this. Nuke still has his ultimate, so could try and separate out these fights. Labrov ultimate not quite up and available, but if they can slow down the pace, maybe they can get in, but here it comes.
Low. This is dangerous. Capz off to the side, not in the best flank position. Labrov going to try and spot him out. 4K getting lower and lower. Nuke laying down the wall. It's a little bit of setup, but the objective should just go to the side of G2. Can they steal it away? No. Yike securing it. Nuke untouched. Ice laying down a little bit of damage. Hansama throwing down a little bit more to respond, though, but Ice is still standing. Keep your eyes on the Zeri. That's big. Capz off to the side, looking for the charm. One more dash in. Can he find it? Ice. The charm connects. Mikyx the immediate follow, but the parkour now coming in. Mom getting called in one more time, and there's Hansama flapping all over Adam. Unstoppable now. BDS on the run. But as long as Ice is up, there's hope. The Baron already over, but Capz! He flashed over the wall to seal the deal. That's 180 carried down and dusted.
Nuke trying desperately to hold on to this. Hansama thinking of going over the wall to see if he can pick off Nuke, but everyone's going to back away. Baron for G2, the fight for G2, and the minions taking that bot lane tower as well. G2 find their moment to bring this game back in their favor.
But such a close fight overall. So many moments of tension there. Ice barely taken down. G2 still making it work, full confidence to secure the Baron there.
But this is where it got a little bit risky, right? Because good wall from Nuke to actually keep G2 in the pit, which opens up Ice to go hyper-aggressive, but BB gives his dying breath to get onto Ice, force the flash back, and keeps him out of the fight. And at this entire time, Hansama has actually been bought space thanks to Mikyx in that back line, and not having that pressure from Nuke because there's just so many bodies in the way makes it very difficult for him to follow up. Yike as well, the two-man kick, means that there's just not quite enough damage there from Ice to follow through as the rest of G2 deal with the rest of the remaining front line for BDS. And then beautiful flash stun, or flash charm I should say, going through from Capz to finish that one out.
I mean, really the icing on the cake. Ultimately, you get the Baron and you're able to secure that final KO. What? Don't look at me.
Icing on the cake?
Oh, okay, all right. Anyway, here we are. 1.5K gold lead for Ice. Maybe can be enough for BDS to swing things back in their favor, but G2 really going to start to put the pressure on. Again, Trogoblade a tough bear to respond to.
It's just, from this point, it's difficult. G2 kind of have to run of the mill. I'm surprised they're only playing off of the one wave state at the moment, though. I did think you'd see Capz move up towards that top side, try and push out that top wave and just create a bit more opportunity in the map, because at the moment, BDS don't really feel threatened to move outside of this mid tower. I know it's for Dragon in 30 seconds, but I still think you can create another point of pressure, but yeah. Capz just fishing off inside here. Who can he find?
Ward spots him. Big boulder thrown in his face. G2 walking up, using the Unbreakable. Sheo again just kind of faking with the challenge there. Braum making it so difficult for him to really find access to that backline.
G2 just going to bully their way through that mid lane tower. And again, this bot side is so incredibly dark for them. It's going to be hard for them to try and commit to Dragon. I think you just gift this and instead look to get vision on that top side, look to push out that top lane. Looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. Nuke immediately going to disappear up onto that top end, just try and alleviate some of the pressure.
And it just feels like G2 recognizing that Soul is probably one of the ways that BDS can come back into a game that's this close, so not over-prioritizing, pushing down lanes where they might not even be able to break open the base. Instead, really just laser focus, keeping mid-prio, getting the Drake, and just moving to the next stage of the game.
The biggest problem that you're going to have, though, is that, like, Ice, yes, is quite strong, but you can see he's starting to work up towards the Randuins. He's going to be, or maybe even Frozen Heart, to be honest, with how close he's going to be in the fights. But either way, it's like he's kind of hitting his end goal, whereas you're kind of catching up now as Hans Sama. So that 1.5k not going to matter as much. You're also getting the stack a ton as well. So this is
we
where Hans is
mentioned
doing
infinite scaling. We said 225, but have we said the word infinite scaling yet? You cross that off
from
on
the
your
creators of Seta.
Yeah.
We bring.
Have you ever wanted to play Vigar or Nasus, but like on a champion who was good? Smolder. It's there for you. It's right there. Although hotfix now, so it won't be nearly this strong in your solo queue games. They'll be bathed into a false sense of security.
But still play at least.
He's still really
Very
stressful. Very, very good. All right. Resets. The map is quiet. 4 minutes till Chemtech, 2 minutes till Baron. We expect that to be the next major objective. Deep vision from G2 in the jungle of BDS right now. Resets coming in from Mikyx, running straight down mid lane. Broken Blade moving up. Just to clear out some camps to get a bit of extra gold before the next fight. We'll see what the setup looks like from both sides. They're probably just gearing up for the full-on Baron dance, turn-based chess portion of League of Legends.
Yeah, for BDS, you've got opportunities to try and push in mid here because Zeri has a little bit more push than the Smolder does. Actually, take that back. Smolder at this stage just one shot away. But the thing is, you want to try and use the mid push into setting up on a side lane for like Nuke or something like that.
Yeah.
But Capz is still so far ahead. He's just capable of getting control in that 1v1 matchup. So you kind of need someone like, as you can see, Labrov here to hover with him to make sure that Nuke is actually able to clear these waves. But that just opens up G2 the man advantage mid to then set Volibear down to the spot lane, so they're just consistently pushing back BDS into a position where they can't contest the vision control, and then when Baron comes up in less than a minute's time, the vision has already been established for G2 in that top end, and you're trying to recover that as BDS rather than being able to establish deeper vision, so then you can have Nuke come in on a flank, set up these weird opportunities for maybe even Adam to TP and flank in. But I do think at this stage it's kind of, even with the elixir of Iron there for Adam, he maybe has a chance of causing disruptions, but there's just so much protection from Mikyx. It's so hard for him to actually play in on Hansan.
The Smolder execute against a champion who wants to kind of be this sustain monster is infuriating. Just effectively having access to about 10% less of your total life pool before you just get deleted makes it so much more difficult, so much more tricky to play these fights. And we've got Seekers now coming in for Hans Sama. That is the old stopwatch active, for those of you who somehow missed the updates at this point, as well as Zanya. So a lot of, I think, luxury purchases coming in for G2 as well, because when you look at Rand with the defensive item, it's all right, but it is not a stopwatch in terms of the raw power it could provide in a fight. Mikyx, though, knock up there, Unbreakable again, buying a bit more space. Broken Blade isolated on the backside. Sky Splitter doing good damage, and a bit more poke onto Sheo. Mikyx now following, knock up, Mom making her way into the fight, not really going to connect anyone. Sheo fishing for the knockback, is going to take one at least out of the fight. Yike pushed away briefly, but BDS losing a lot of their health just to walk into their own jungle.
They're trying desperately to do anything, but G2, as we said, have already established, and those corridors are perfect for what G2 are trying to achieve with this composition. So BDS forced back. Yeah, they're going to try and really establish themselves in River, but who wants to face tank this? And Baron may even be gone already.
Capz off to the side, looking for the flank onto Nuke, pressuring him, stopping Taliyah from being able to do anything. The Unraveled Earth goes down, but Broken Blade just in the midst of the back line. And Hans Sama, the knockup's there, but there's absolutely no fault. The Smolder just gets to keep doing whatever the hell he pleases. Ice doing some good damage here, but Yike fishing for the backside of the fight. He just gets taken down. It's Ice and Capz, though. 1v1, but now Hans Sama's coming in as well. There's just nowhere for Ice to go. Randuins is not enough. The quadra. Give it to him. Flap, 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 baby. That's a baby dragon, and that's a pentakill.
Mom, are you watching? It's Hans Sama popping off with the Smolder pentakill for the G2 bot lane. What a way for Smolder to enter into the LEC.
Yeah, you heard of Mom's spaghetti, but that's Mom is too damn fetty. Smolder doing Smolder things. Just spitting on him, sneezing on him. G2 reminding us why the pick is so incredibly powerful. A well-played game. G2 finding their first win of the Spring Split.
G2 finding success on the Smolder. I mean, look, let's be real. Yes, the pentakill came in at the end of the day from Hans Sama, but it was the mid-jungle that actually took over in the early stages, made it very, very difficult for BDS to operate. And it was a fumble from G2, but either way, able to bring it back and close this one out.
Yike and Capz together, some clean performances for sure, even though like some of the early plays maybe didn't feel quite as good as they could have. Broken Blade independently generating this pressure point. Of course, you can broke for your key player of the game at LEC on X, Yike and Capz. Hans Sama
All good options. And now, I think we have to really think more about the true Immortal Esports question, which is who wins in a fight, Smolder's mom or Capz's dad? And while you ponder that, we're going to go to a quick break. When we return, more League of Legends. Don't go anywhere.
Red Bull gives you wings.